Criss by Lynn Ray Perkins. Chapter 14. The plum tree blossoms, the new yearbook is opened. Is that who I am? Debbie and Patty sat in a wooden gazebo. The flowering plums outside were covered with blossoms, as if a giant bowl of popcorn had spilled from the sky, which was blue, and landed in the branches. They were looking at the senior pages of the new yearbooks. The seniors could have their pictures taken in different settings, leaning against a tree, by a fireplace, wherever they wanted, and they could wear whatever they wanted. A tuxedo, a football uniform, a leather jacket, a beautiful evening gown, a t-shirt and jeans. They could use props, a motorcycle, a guitar, a rose. A committee of students had chosen a quote from literature or history to accompany each person's photograph in the yearbook. They picked them from a book of quotations that was divided into categories like music, art, sports, intelligence, friendship, beauty, sincerity, humor, courage. There were even literary ways of saying, headed for trouble. You had to wonder how some people felt when they saw the quotes that had been chosen for them. Example, quote, strength lies not in defense, but in attack, unquote. Hitler. This was because he was an offensive lineman on the football team. But still, said Debbie, Hitler? Or example, quote, he is happiest of whom the world says least, good or bad, unquote. Jefferson. And another example, quote, a nice, unparticular man, unquote. Hardy. You can tell they didn't know what to say about him, said Patty. I think they should do haikus, said Debbie. Maybe because of the gazebo and the plum blossoms and the sparkling water. Then it can be about nothing but sound like it's about something, like, the page is empty. Who knows what mystery will be written there? It still sounds like there's nothing to say about him. Empty isn't a good word. It should be more like, the page is waiting. Try this. The page is waiting. Will anything be written? It waits and waits. Or, the page gets bored and falls asleep. Go to our class. Okay, here. Or, is that how I look? No, but it's a photograph. That doesn't matter. Or, Jeff White is handsome, but his hair is so greasy. If he would wash it. Or, look, here's Dan Persick. I could look at him all day. Too bad he's a jerk. Or, he has hidden depths. You think that about everyone, because it's true. Or, like Sarah Staver, she seems kind of boring, but then she makes you laugh. Or, what about Pam Burke? She doesn't have hidden depths. Her depths are shallow. She has hidden shallows. They fell silent, perusing the familiar faces. All those necklaces and bracelets she jingles. When I think of him, I feel sorry for him, but look, he looks happy. Roly-poly, but graceful. How does she do that? Maybe he's brilliant, sometimes friendly and funny, sometimes sarcastic. You have to check his mood before speaking, like putting your head out the door to see how cold. That sleepover in 6th grade, that dance when she... The thoughts were that quick. But each thought would hold a story, like... I went to a sleepover at her house when we were in 6th grade. Somehow I was cooler then, I think. What happened? Other people were there. It was a pajama party, but I was the chosen friend of the evening. I don't know why. She said, come with me while I shave my legs. And we went into the bathroom, and I sat on the edge of the tub while she shaved her legs with an electric razor. I have to shave them every other night, she said. Whoa, I thought. I had never shaved my legs at all, and felt suddenly how golden and furry they were, like a bumblebee. I was wearing shorty pajamas that were my favorites, but now I wish that they were long ones, or a nightgown, or one of those exercise tents that your whole body fits inside so you can sweat. She looked so elegant, shaving her long, tanned legs, expertly. You could tell that she really did do it a lot. Later on, a year or so, we went to one of the dances together. There was a boy there, older, who liked her. She was so pretty, and she looked older, too. Mature or sophisticated or something. They danced together a lot. When they sat down on the bleachers, I went over and sat down too. I mean, we came together, and they were just sitting there. And she turned and looked at me, and it might have been pity, or it might have had an apology in it, but it was definitely, "Get lost. Don't be a child." I sat there for a few seconds more, looking into the dark room full of people dancing while she and her guy gazed into each other's eyes and palpated each other's hands. Then I said, "Well, see you later." I went to the girls' room and looked at myself in the mirror. I thought I still looked okay. I came back into the gym through a door toward the back where it was really dark and climbed up to the top row of the bleachers. I felt 10 years old and 1,000 years old, but I didn't know how to be my own age. I'd never felt that way before, but now I feel like that a lot. Later, while we waited for our ride, she acted like nothing had happened. But it had. Quick thoughts like that. That sleepover in 6th grade. The dance when that quick. Other faces had other stories. Out of the cocoon, something new. Is this one still a caterpillar? With the sleepover, the dance in her head, Debbie looked at her own picture and saw a caterpillar. When Patty looked at it, she only saw her friend. Her gaze bounced over to Lenny's picture, and she smiled as she remembered how just that day in science class, Mrs. Lewandowski had asked her to find a place to plug in the overhead projector. All the visible outlets were full, so she'd crawled under a table on her hands and knees. When she came out, Lenny was standing there. "What are you doing?" he asked. "Looking for an outlet," she said. And Lenny said, "Have you tried tennis?" She looked up from the yearbook to tell Debbie about it, but Debbie spoke first. "Look, there goes Hector. I wonder why he's running. His bag is breaking." The bag was a grocery bag with the items escaping from it. Crumpled tissues, bent cans, looked like used groceries, also known as garbage. Why was Hector running down the street in this part of town with a bag of garbage? His shirt tails flew out behind him. He was too far away to call out to over the traffic noise. It was interesting, Debbie thought, how you could recognize a person, even from a distance, and even when you couldn't see the person's face. Even when the person was scuttling along the sidewalk like a crustacean. What was it exactly that you recognized? In Hector's case, it was probably his hair. But there was something else, too, she thought. Something so Hectory about his whole self. She watched him for a moment, wondering what it was that gave him away. She wondered if she had something like that. End of chapter 14.